Good morning, everyone. I am back, and it is time for a fun Friday of gaming. But before we even get to that, there's tons to talk about because, of course, as usual, on my day off, there were giant news updates. So, sit back and relax, get ready for a very interesting and informative Level 1 podcast right after the intro. I think we skipped ahead. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. How is everyone today? It is Friday, the 29th of September, 2023, the next to last day of the month of what has been a very fun and interesting September for sure. We are about to head full speed ahead into the busiest gaming month of the year. October 2023 will be wild with the amount of new releases and stuff going on in the realm of gaming. And, of course, there'll be no exception around here on DSPGaming with the amount of games I'll be covering with the special Halloween vibe and stuff that's going to be happening. And I'm obviously excited for that. But before we get to that, we have a lot to talk about, all right? So welcome to the show. And I'm ready for another 6 straight days of streaming for you. That is indeed correct. There will be 6 straight days of gameplay streaming this week. At this point, it's hard for me to even determine or figure out what day should be my day off of the week. And the reason I say that is, back in the day, you know, when I was just starting off as a YouTuber, Tuesdays traditionally were always the day when new video games would come out in the United States. And then on Friday, the games would come out the rest of the world. I know that sounds a little weird, right? Like, that's how it would be. When United States gets a Tuesday, but everyone else has to wait. And it was weird because I had people who would always watch my videos from, as they say, across the pond over in the UK, because you guys wouldn't get games for another 3 or so days, and you'd always want to see what they are ahead of time. And my videos were a good source of, you know, information about a game that maybe you wanted or didn't want to buy. You could judge based off of my content. Then somewhere along the last decade, game developers, publishers, etc., decided, you know what? We're going to change that. We're going to now make it so that all these games have an international, worldwide Friday release. That way, everyone gets it on exactly the same day, no one gets it early, and everyone can enjoy it at once. I'm totally on board with that. That makes sense to me. Release all games on Fridays. That way, everyone can play it at once. There's no, this one group got advanced while other countries have to wait. That never really ever made sense to me. So I was totally on board with that. But then something happened. In the last few years, all of a sudden, games just come out whenever they want. Like, really, I've seen game releases on Wednesdays, Thursdays. I think maybe the one day you never see a video game release is like a Sunday. Maybe. Because even Mondays I've seen, and it's weird. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was looking at the game release schedule for the month of October, and I was curious, you know, what games will I be playing it or not, or whatever. And so I actually made a new updated list, this time in my phone. So this time I could actually read it out of my phone rather than have to keep getting up and getting a paper list like we were doing for months there. And just to give you some perspective, the first game coming out in October is Assassin's Creed Mirage. It comes out October 5th, a Thursday. Okay, I guess. Sure. A Thursday. I don't know why a new release game is coming out on a Thursday, but indeed, it's coming out on a Thursday. So because of that, I'll be honest, I'm going to miss the release day. You know, I have to have a day off at some point. I've set it up so my days off are now Thursdays because it seemed to squeeze between the Tuesday releases and the Friday releases. And now they're going to make it a Thursday. Well, I guess I'm just going to play it on Friday when I get back. I don't know what else to say. Like, I can't seem to find the perfect spot to have a day off anymore because the days keep changing. Just to give you guys some perspective, here's the month of October in a nutshell, what I'm looking at for the games that I'm interested in. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is October 5th. the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 beta will be running on PS5 from the 8th to the 10th. So that's a 3-day beta on PS5. And I want to play it at least once, if not twice, to judge if I actually want to play Modern Warfare 3 later this year or not. So it's a good opportunity to do that. Plus, I haven't played a first-person shooter in a very long time. So again, it's a good opportunity to kind of jump into that. Forza Motorsport is releasing October 10th. And I'll be honest, I'm not convinced that I want to play it. But it's a Game Pass game. So maybe just a one-off stream to just test it and see exactly what it is. You know what I mean? I guess we'll see. And then the next game after that is Lords of the Fallen, October 13th. And that one I'm on the fence about. I don't know if I want to play another Soulsborne-esque game right after having played Lies of P, which it looks like we'll definitely beat Lies of P before then. You know, we're on Chapter 8 we're starting today. And the game has 11 chapters. I have heard that the later chapters are much longer and more challenging. But still, like, Soulsborne and then another Soulsborne. You know? I don't know. And then after that, there's the Grinch game comes out the 13th. And the only reason I left that on my release schedule, because I want to remember it's out. I'm going to probably play that in December for Christmas. But there is a Grinch game coming out mid-October. Sonic Superstars is October 17th. I'm definitely playing that. Spider-Man 2, October 20th. I'm definitely playing that. Along with Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the 20th, which I'm also going to be playing. Cities Skylines comes out October 26th, and again, it's a Game Pass game. I'm fascinated because people have said that this game is super good if you want to make a Sim City, even though it's not Sim City. So maybe I'll check that out. And then, of course, the end of the month, we got Alan Wake on the 27th, right? Alan Wake 2, that is. So those are the games I'm, like, definitely interested in, or at least I may give a shot. Like I said, Forza Motorsport, City Skylines, they're Game Pass. There's no risk to trying those games and at least giving them a shot and seeing if I like them for like a one-off stream. Not to say that I would play it extended, but just to see what they are, right? So, what a month. Now, that's what I mean. Like, it's just wild that it just seems like that could be any day of the week could be a new release these days, right? So, it is what it is. And I am excited for all the games coming out in October. So, you know, I guess what we could do now is let's sit back and let's talk about the insanely stressful, rage-filled, anger-filled, I don't know what else to say, just really, really, really bad, frustrating day that I had on Wednesday, playing with Aki in Street Fighter 6 when she released, and then talking about the schedule for this week, which will be a little different, which is good, and then moving forward with that, alright? So let's talk. So first of all, after a crazy fun week, I would argue, last week, you know, last week, first of all, as I explained to you guys over the course of the week, I had some personal things and problems and things going on in my real life, and I was hoping that they weren't going to affect the streams or whatever. And we had a good variety of stuff last week. Tons of gameplay of Lies of P. I actually got through arguably one of the hardest bosses in the game. You know, legitimately, didn't summon or anything, just beat it legit, which was awesome. Continue on with Starfield, continued on with Mortal Kombat 1, played it online, realized how bad it was, and kind of said, that's it, we're done with it, it's not worth playing. And then, of course, Street Fighter 6, I got my Lily to Master Rank, which was a big accomplishment, being that she's bottom tier in the game, and to finally do it felt awesome. And then, at the end of all of that, was Wednesday, which was release day for the new DLC character, Aki, in Street Fighter 6. Now, initially, allow me to explain, I don't think that Aki is a bad character at all. I think she is what you consider a jack of all trades, but a master of none. She's decent at zoning, but she's definitely not the best. She's decent at mid-screen, you know, hits which lead to big combos. She can do some mix-up rushdown, but she's definitely not the best. Like, her drive rush overhead, if she lands it, can be a giant combo. The problem is her drive rush overhead is kind of slow compared to other people's. So she's not that bad, but I also don't think that she's like top. I think she maybe be like mid-tier. The problem was, for some reason, I really still can't explain it, I just couldn't play well on Wednesday. And I don't know if it was a situation where it was stress, where it was all the crap going on behind the scenes, if it was a combination of my joystick is actually having issues. Because let me tell you something, it's a little weird when I'm sitting here with my joystick and I say I want fireball, which is quarter circle back plus punch. So I do quarter circle back plus light punch, and the game gives me a parry. Parry is medium punch and medium kick together. That's not even the same button input nor joystick input. How was I getting that? I mean, I think there is a shortcut button that's parry. Maybe the shortcut button is malfunctioning. I don't know. When I was playing with Lily, I was accidentally getting a standing medium kick in the middle of combos. Could that have been because the shortcut button is malfunctioning? Like, I don't know what it is, all right? So, basically, you know, I'm trying to learn a new character, which is hard enough as it is, because everyone in this game is playing at higher level at this point, because the game's been out for 4 months. It's not easy to jump in with a new character anymore. You know, the game ranked me at diamond level, which means I'm going to be playing all the tryhards who've been using their main character and just playing a pattern online forever. And all that's well and good. I'm just used to that. But the fact that my execution was so bad, and I had so many opportunities to win a match, but it was like, drop the move, drop the combo, drop the move, drop the combo, don't block. And I'm like, I just don't know what's going on. It actually frustrated me to no end. And not only on the first stream, but also on the late stream on Wednesday, this continued to happen. And it really threw me for a loop, because I was really hoping that that stream was going to be a great kind of bookend to the week. Retro Parasite did a super chat. Guys, do you see that the super chats look completely different? Do you see this? They must have changed the way super chats look. Does that look different to everyone else in the chat too? It looks like a big rounded shape. It doesn't even look like it used to anymore. I can click on it now. It's like a weird bubble. Yeah, they what is going on? Yo, YouTube just does random stuff for no reason. Why would you change the super chat highlight to look like a weird ass bubble? Why'd they do that? Does it add anything? Of course it doesn't. Why would they do? I don't know. These guys are nuts. Darcy X says, yes, they're changing all of YouTube to these weird rounded edges. By the way, you may hear landscapers outside. You're like, well, now, wait a minute, Phil. Why are there landscapers outside? Weren't there landscapers outside your house the other day? Yes. They came by on Wednesday, and it was pouring rain outside. So they did initial work, but didn't finish. So now they're coming back this morning to finish. So I may have to close the window again, which is again going to make this room heat up about 20 degrees until they're done. And then when I open it up again, it's going to take all day to fucking cool off the room again. Or I could just leave the window open, but then we got to put up with the landscaper noises. So I guess we got to make the decision. It's like either way is annoying as shit, right? Anyway. So, you know, I played with Aki all day long, got placed in Diamond, and it was weird because, like, I would be going on a streak, you know, with Aki and get a bunch of wins in a row, 6, 8 wins, and all of a sudden, I couldn't do anything. It was like, all of a sudden, nothing wanted to work. I couldn't block. I couldn't do a simple special move. I was getting accidental parry and other things in the middle of a round for no good reason. And it wasn't even, like, explainable. I don't even get it. Like, what was going on. I really don't know. I'm going to assume it's a combination of factors. I'm going to assume that I was so stressed out with the stuff going on in my life that me trying to play Street Fighter, and then as soon as something going wrong, it would, like, just exacerbate and domino. That's my guess. I hope that's the case, because if this joystick is broken, I'm going to be even more angry. Because I paid over $300 fucking for this joystick. I've only used it for not even 2 months yet. And if you're going to tell me that this joystick is broken, someone's getting their ass beat. Because that's bullshit. A fucking $300 joystick is having problems only 2 months into being used. Yeah, I'm going to have some real problems. Like, I'm very upset about that situation. That's too much money to be investing in a piece of equipment for it to already have these kind of issues. So, I really hope that it's not the case. But maybe it is. If it is, I'm just wondering if it is that button. Like I said, if it's weird. If I'm doing quarter circle back light punch and the game is saying parry, that's not even the same buttons. But it makes me feel like it may be the shortcut button malfunctioning. And is it not true in Street Fighter 6, can you disable the shortcut button? I think you can, right? Because what I might do is I only use 6 buttons. I don't use any shortcuts in Street Fighter 6 at all. I just use the 3 punches and the 3 kicks. So maybe if I map those 2 extra buttons to being blank, then it would eliminate the problem, right? It would be, there won't be any false inputs if I just turn them off. Because I never use them anyway. So why have these extra buttons and more opportunities for a malfunction, right? So I think tonight that's what we might do. We'll talk about the schedule now. I think tonight when we play, we're going to test that. So let's talk about that in a second. Let's actually go into into, what we're going to be doing today, okay? So first of all, after today's podcast, we're going to be playing more Lies of P. And I'm going to tell you, I love this game. I really do. It's in my opinion, likely the best Soulsborne clone style game, meaning a game that plays like a Soulsborne game but isn't from FromSoft, that's ever been made. It's just everything about this game has been outstanding. Every single chapter is different with new enemies and new challenges, new locations, great graphics, great gameplay elements. We keep getting new weapons and things that are superb. We keep adding new abilities to our robot arm. That's great. Now, here's the thing. They patched the game, and the patch was already applied. I checked when I booted up my Xbox this morning. The patch has already been applied, okay? So I can't really help it from what we were talking about the other day. Tons of changes. Capacity increased across the board for everyone, so now you can carry more stuff and not be encumbered. More crafting items are going to drop over the course of the game, so you can level up more weapons. As also more ergo, so you have more ergo to use to level up and level up your weapons. Elite enemies will now have less HP and way more stun. So it doesn't feel like a boss fight every time you run into an elite. Bosses. Significant reduction to HP of certain bosses. Luckily for me, I've beaten every one of these bosses except the final boss of the game. So apparently they made the final boss easier. Everyone else in the game, though, is also easier, but I've already gotten past the toughest bosses, so it's not really going to affect me in that regard. I guess there's a respec tree. The golden tree will now respec you, as well as a statue that apparently we're about to run into anyway, so that won't really affect me because I was going to get respec anyway. What was the other one? There was like one other major change in there somewhere. I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, so these changes will obviously affect my game today, and there's nothing I can do. We talked about this on Wednesday's show, that these mid-game changes, the game's only been out a week and a half, and I guess enough people complained about these things in the game that they changed it. I don't know how I feel about that. I would have probably liked to beaten the entire game its first form before they change it. It's kind of unfortunate that there's no way to do that, just like with Elden Ring. When I was playing it, it was such a lengthy game, and by the time I got to Radon, which was like the second week I was playing the game, I think, it was too late. Like, Radon had already been nerfed, and there was nothing I could do about it. He was just much, much easier to beat. So, what can I do? We'll see what happens today. We'll continue on. But I know I'm still going to enjoy the game. I just hope it's not piss easy. Seriously, I hope it's not piss easy. Okay, we'll see, though. All right, on tonight's late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it's Friday Night Fights. And we are playing with Aki more because I feel like the character has potential. But sadly, I was in a situation where things were just going wrong, and I couldn't play her well because of everything happening. I'm really hoping that tonight things go better, and what we're going to do tonight, number one, we're going to go right into the training mode, and I'm going to test this goddamn joystick. I'm going to test all her moves and everything. I'm going to see if I'm getting accidental inputs. I'm also going to try to remap it so those 2 extra buttons are disabled. That way there's only 6 buttons. It's all I'm using. I don't need anything else, okay? There's actually 1 or 2 combos I want to practice because I did watch some tech with her last night. Now that some videos are out, she has better combos than even what I was doing, and I was doing 70% combos. She actually has better combos than that. Using that coward crouch, it's called snake walk, I think. Using the snake walk cancel, you can extend combos without having to use any meter whatsoever, and it's pretty insane the combo ability that she has once you land that first hit. The trick is landing the first hit, because landing the first hit can be tough because her normals aren't as good as the top tier. So the top tier can bully her, but if you can get that one hit in, you could essentially then get that momentum rolling and dominate for the rest of the round because she's got poison on you and, she keeps that momentum rolling. So I guess we'll see, but that's what we're going to do tonight. First things first, training mode, see what the hell's going on with this joystick, hopefully fix the issue, and then we're going to do more rank. We're at 1-star diamond. To give you guys some perspective, we got placed in 1-star diamond, but I immediately lost a ton of matches. I only won 10 matches, then I lost 20. So it was like only 33% win-loss ratio, which got me back to Platinum 5-star. But then on the late stream, I played extra long, and I got 35 wins and 34 losses for a 51% win-loss ratio, and I'm back in Diamond 1-star now. So, was not great at all. Like, a pretty bad win-loss ratio overall. I think if you add it all up completely, I think it was actually a more losing ratio than a winning ratio with Aki. But I feel like I could definitely do better than that today if I can get the dang joystick to work. So let's see what happens. And by the way, today, my goal is even if things go wrong and even if things, I lose a ton, to try to not lose my cool. It's just a game. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to hopefully let it get to me like I did on Wednesday where I was getting really, really upset. A lot of people had actually said that they think that I need significant time away from my streams. And I'm like, I think it's the opposite. I think it's just that I need to learn to manage anger well. And, Street Fighter, when things go well with Street Fighter, that's like my outlet to feel like, wow, I put a lot of time and effort and skill into this, and I win the match, and it's super good, right? But then in Street Fighter, if I just can't get things going, it's one thing if it's one match or two. If it's like 10 matches in a row and the fucking thing will not work, it really kills me. It makes me get so frustrated because I feel like I'm wasting my time. I don't like putting out content that I feel has no meaning. I'm gonna repeat that for all of you, okay? I really don't like putting out content that I feel has no meaning. And that is the major difference between me and probably the vast majority of people on the internet who make content for YouTube, is that a lot of them just don't care. They just put out whatever, as long as someone watches it and they make money on it, they don't care what it is. They'll sit there taking a shit and record it. They'll sit there screaming at a camera. They'll act like an idiot. They'll make completely fluff garbage. They'll watch someone else's content and go, as long as you watch it and they make money on it, they don't care. That's what they do. Me, I want to be putting out meaningful content for you. If I feel like I put out something that's crappy or worthless, it hurts me because I don't want to waste your time as my viewing audience. Do you understand? And I do feel like earlier this week on Wednesday, most of the time that I was playing with Aki was a waste of time because I knew what I was doing and I knew the combos and I knew what to do in the situation and I couldn't execute on it. And that's terrible. That's the worst feeling. It feels like my hands were tied and I couldn't even move properly or whatever. You know what I mean? So I am hoping that things are better tonight on the late stream. All right. I really hope you'll join me. We'll give it another shot. We'll have to find out and go from there. So let's see what happens. 6:45 p.m. tonight. Aki returns in Street Fighter 6 for Friday Night Fights. I go back to ranked and we try to do better this time. And I hope that I can do better this time. We're going to have to find out. Okay. All right. Tomorrow is something different. For the final day of September, tomorrow, I'm going to be playing the Separate Ways DLC in Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, does anyone know, I have to ask the question, to play the DLC, do you have to have Resident Evil 4 Remake installed, or can you buy it as a standalone? Because the reason I ask is I might have to completely re-download the game. It hasn't been on my PS5 for months, so I might have to re-download and then buy and add the DLC on top of that, right? Excuse me. Yes, you need to have the original game. Okay, so I'll have to go back and reinstall tonight and then buy the DLC and install that, and that will begin tomorrow. From what I'm being told, roughly 5 hours long. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm an interactive streamer, so for me, plus the fact that I haven't played this game since March or whatever it was, March, April, I'm not going to be great at it, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to be starting it tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be fun. I'm playing it on hardcore difficulty, just like I did the main game months ago, okay? And that'll be fun. By the way, this is absolutely hilarious. I'm just going to say this. My trolls on the internet hate the fact that I say that my content is meaningful. Do you want to know why they hate that? Because they can't possibly believe that the thing that I do on the internet that they most hate, because they are losers in life, is actually meaningful to some people. They can't stand it. I make meaningful content. I actually design my content to be meaningful for my audience. That's why I call it curated content. That's why I don't put out fluff garbage content. Deal with it, motherfuckers. You're all losers. Every one of you out there that feels, oh, you feel like pain when I say meaningful content. That's why I'm different from you, because I actually do positive things that mean something to someone, while all you do is shit on the internet. You are scum, and my content's better than yours. Oh well. Let's continue. On tomorrow night's late stream, Saturday night that is it'll be more Starfield. Continuing on, we are right at the tail end of the UC Vanguard plotline. In fact, we have like the big resolution, and we need to decide how to end it. So we're going to see how that goes. Then we have the companion mission for Barrett, which we've unlocked. And then after that, likely, I will go back to the main storyline, because we have not done the main storyline now for Constellation in tons of time. So I feel like we should go back and do that, all right? So that's going to be on tomorrow night's agenda, time permitting, obviously. It is the late stream. It's only around 2 hours long. Now, for Sunday, a lot's going on. First of all, I got to do all the playlist stuff for Sunday's React show. But in addition to that, on Sunday, I'm going to have a new backdrop for the month of October. It's going to be half gaming and half Halloween. So I'm going to try to do a hybrid this year. In addition, there should be some new awesome animations here on the streams. I can tell you right now, I've already seen a preview of some of the animations that are being worked on for the October Halloween month. They are great. They are really, really good, and I'm very pleased with how they're going. Oh, I can add at least 2 or 3 new ones, plus we'll have all the old ones as well. So I'm going to have a good variety of animations and things on the streams for Halloween month, which should be great. I hope that you will enjoy those. And those all start Sunday. So, of course, that means Saturday night I got a lot of work to do. Not only do I have to do the playlist, which takes like an hour, but now I got to do the setup and animation, so I'm going to be in here forever on Saturday night. But hopefully it pays off, and you guys will enjoy the Halloween horror festivities starting this Sunday, okay? Sunday will be the React show, DSP versus the Internet, over on my React channel, DSP Reacts. Sunday night will be the continuation of Lies of P on the late stream. Then on Monday, it'll be more Lies of P on the daytime stream, paired with more Street Fighter 6 at night. And you might say, well, what will you do for that? I honestly don't know. It could be more Aki, depending on how tonight goes. Maybe I'll be all tired of that character, and I'll actually want to do some variety, in which case we'll do some master matches, maybe with Blanca on Monday night. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes tonight, because if I do better tonight and we're on a roll, I might want to keep that momentum rolling with the character to try to get better. So let's see how it goes and play it by ear, shall we? Okay. Then Tuesday will be more Separate Ways DLC. Now, I'm being told that the Separate Ways DLC is 5 hours long, but considering I'm playing it on hardcore, I haven't played the game in once, and I'm going to be doing interactions with you guys, I don't know exactly if I'll beat it on Tuesday or not. I guess we'll see, okay? And then Tuesday night will be more Starfield, and then Wednesday will be more Lies of P, and I'm curious how far into the game I'll be at that point, because I don't know exactly how much longer the rest of the game is. You know, at this point with Lies of P, we are, just so you guys know, around 18 hours in, and the reports have been that it's about a 30-hour game, especially with the later stages being longer and way more challenging. But however, they did patch the game today to maybe make it easier, so maybe it won't be as challenging, right? So I guess we'll see. There's 11 chapters. We're starting chapter 8 today. Will we beat the entire chapter in one sitting or not? I guess that's a determining factor, obviously. So will I beat Lies of P by the end of the week? I don't know. If I don't, it's fine. We can keep going. It's not a big deal. We're not in a giant rush to finish the game or anything like that. Wednesday night will be more Street Fighter. Again, will it be Aki? Will it be one of the Master Rank characters? We'll see as the week progresses. So I'm off on Thursday the 5th, which would have been my release day coverage of Assassin's Creed Mirage. Why they're releasing a game on a fucking Thursday, I have absolutely no idea. It's pretty stupid in my opinion. But I'll be playing it starting on Friday as the daytime stream, and it'll be that and probably Friday night fights, and then we'll balance the rest of the week based on what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, we'll have to see. Now, like I said, on the 8th, it's the Modern Warfare 3 beta. Yeah, I'd love to play that beta, maybe 1 or 2 sessions to judge if I like the game and want to buy it. We're going to be balancing that. If I need to keep playing Lies of P to finish that, we've got that. I'm going to continue with Starfield. I'm going to continue with Street Fighter 6. All this stuff will still be going as we get further into the month of October and all the new releases of that month, okay? So there you go. All right, so that is what's going on right now. I hope that sounds like a great schedule to all of you. Before we get into a crazy, excessive amount of game news, all right, I would just like to say thank you. This has been an outstanding streaming month. We're in the final 2 days of the month now. You know, great ways to support the channel right now. I would say 2 ways would be the best. Number 1 would be memberships or gifted memberships. My goal by the end of this week is to hit 675 members. I would love to do that by the end of this streaming week. We got 6 days to do that. But as you know, every day it's like this. We gain some, then some expire. Then we gain some, then they expire. So it's like a weird wave, right? Like you're going all over like a sound wave, right? So, if you'd like to become a member, consider it. It's many features you get for being a member. In fact, one of the biggest features you're about to get is in the month of October. If you're a member, you're going to get priority to nominate games for the upcoming Halloween Marathon event that I'm going to do. It should be pretty fun to be able to get a game nominated and played during that event while everyone else will be duking it out in more of a general thread where they're going to be posting up. Only members will have the priority to post and have those games voted on and to determine what games will actually get into the marathon. So it's a really cool advantage to have with this upcoming marathon event. Please consider gifting some memberships to the community. I'm sure to this month, with the insane amount of new releases coming out in October, people would absolutely appreciate, having a membership, having access to all of my emotes, not having to abide by slow mode rules in the chat, getting a priority in all kinds of various ways. They would love that. So please consider that. The other thing right now, I'm going to stick with the goal that I had last week. My goal is to hit the level 1 tips goal on every stream, or to basically have the equivalent of that over the course of a day. So that means if one day I hit the crazy, tier 3 goal on one stream, then we're pretty good. I don't have to really worry too much for the rest of the day. But my goal is to hit the tier 1 tips goal every stream this week. All right, and that would help tremendously. That really would right now. So let's see what we could do this week with those goals. Hit those memberships and tips. Now, I'm not looking to give horse in the mouth. If you want to contribute via a super chat or a super sticker or a super thanks, that helps a lot. And especially now, these next 2 days counts towards essentially my next kind of pay that I'm going to get from YouTube. Right? After that, anything that I get in October, I won't even see till November. So next 2 days, great chance if you were thinking of super chatting or anything like that or memberships, now's the time to do it. It would help a lot right now in the short term. But tips in particular also very important right now, because why? Very shortly, I have to drop a lot of money for a lot of games. Again, did you hear that games list that I went through earlier? Just to reiterate, just in the month of October alone, all right, Assassin's Creed Mirage, possibly Lords of the Fallen, Sonic Superstars, Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Alan Wake. That's a lot of games in a very short period of time that I'm going to have to drop funds on. That's kind of above and beyond what normally I'd be spending to cover stuff for you. It's always like that this time of year. So, yeah, and tips would help tremendously right now if you could. That would help because that's short term. When you tip me, I get those funds right now. I can put them right towards the next game. And I get more of a cut of tips than any other contribution method as well. So that would be greatly appreciated. Okay? All right. Ladies and gents, I don't really want to talk about money all day. I want to talk about news because we've got a lot of stuff today to discuss from what happened when I was off. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite segment. Your favorite segment. Perhaps even Donald Trump and Hunter Biden's favorite segment. It's time for DSP News. All right, probably not. They probably don't know who I am. But I don't even know. I just knew by bringing up a few names, people would be infuriated. How dare he say that? How dare he say those names? I thought he wasn't a political streamer. Okay. Anyway. Let's see people are they're freaking out in the chat. I love it. Oh, they're both channel members? Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I have so many channel members, I just can't keep track of them all. Who would have known? Anyway. Let's do the news, shall we? Let's get into all of this. So first of all, the big news that happened a couple days ago, although technically I don't really think it's big news, but some people think it is. Jim Ryan, the CEO of PlayStation, will be retiring in March of 2024 after having more than 30 years working at Sony. So already you've got people who are going absolutely apeshit about this story. Oh my God, PlayStation is failing. Jim Ryan, a huge disappointment for the company. Have you seen how they've gone downhill in the last several years? They've really tanked. I can't believe it. They're kicking Jim Ryan out. What an asshole. All right. In reality, if you look into the situation, all right, I don't think it could really be further from the truth. In interviews, Jim Ryan has been saying for the past several years that essentially he's really worn out. Like, he hates the travel. He's like, there's sometimes when I'm literally traveling 2, 3, 4 weeks straight, nonstop, airport, to an event, to a company, to this, to that, And it's just killing him because he's older now and he doesn't want to keep doing this. He's just out of that mindset of, he's not a jet setter young guy bouncing around the world anymore. I could totally understand that. He worked his butt off as the CEO for many years doing this kind of thing, and he wants to retire. He's old and he's rich. Why the hell does he have to keep doing it if he's old and rich? It's time for him to sit back and drink his pina coladas, and have a nice, relaxing day on the beach or whatever he wants to do with his $5 zillion that he probably made as the CEO of PlayStation, right? But the funny part is, like, why do people make it into a conspiracy theory story? Like, what have you heard about at PlayStation recently? Why would they want to oust Jim Ryan? I mean, the one thing that's been in the news is that obviously he's been a vocal adversary of the Microsoft-Activision merger, and it looks like the Microsoft-Activision merger is now going to go through, despite the fact that he's worked really hard to try to thwart it. All right? But you'll win some, you'll lose some, as they say, right? I don't think that has anything to do with this guy retiring. He's been in the role for a long time. I don't know. But anyway, obviously, this will be a change. They already announced who will kind of be the new interim CEO, and I don't know if he'll be the permanent CEO or whatever. But there you go. It's news, apparently. I want to try to get to this. That's the bigger news story. I want to get to that later. This is pretty funny. So last week, we talked about how a humongous bug was found with Mortal Kombat 1. That the game had such a horrendously bad programming bug that characters on the player 1 side could do strategies and combos, and on the player 2 side, they don't work. That is an innate gameplay flaw for any competitive game. One player has a monstrous advantage over the other. How the hell they didn't catch this in testing? I have no clue. Besides the fact that maybe the game testers just don't fucking understand fighting games. I don't know how you could not test the same combo on 2 sides and tell that it doesn't work on 1 side. That's ludicrously stupid. That's one of the first things you would do. Here, what's the bread and butter combo with Sub-Zero? Here it is. Okay, let's test it on both sides. That's the first thing you fucking do. How did they, you know what I mean? So anyway, there's 2 updates to this. First of all, they patched the game on my day off and fixed the issue. But the funny part about it was Ed Boon's own reaction. For those who don't know, Ed Boon, he's basically at the head of NetherRealm. He's the person who's been with Midway since the 90s when they first started making the original Mortal Kombat. That's why they got Noob Saibot. It's Ed Boon and John Tobias, and Ed Boon's still with the company, right? So, I swear to God he posted this up. I swear to God I'm not making this up. Once again, thank you for all your feedback with MK1. You're helping us make the game better every day. The Player 1 Advantage bug has been fixed, and update is being prepped for release very soon. We'll keep you all posted. You understand what he's saying, right? He's literally admitting that they are inept as game developers and didn't know that this bug existed in their competitive fighting game. And he's thanking the community for putting in the amount of time and effort to discover it so they could fix it. They couldn't be bothered before they released the game. But they're thanking the community for doing the work for them. That's literally what he just said in that social media post. Thank you for doing our work. Because we couldn't be bothered to put out a fucking functioning fighting game that you bought. Like, I read it, I'm like, does he realize what he just posted? I mean, he posted it in a way that was positive to sugarcoat it, but literally that's exactly what he just said. We're inept. We didn't know that our own game was not balanced and it was broken. Thank you for discovering it so fast. Is he not aware that there was a bunch of launch week tournaments that are completely invalid? Like, literally, the results don't matter because player 2 couldn't do the combos while player 1 could. What a fucking asshole. I mean, really, that's fucked up. Can he justify that he released a game that the community had to discover was broken so they could fix it? And, I hate to say it. Really, I hate to say it, okay? This is sadly a situation where I feel like now the consumers have been desensitized because we have so many games now that are released broken, and it's on us to be the playtesters, despite the fact that they were supposed to already do their playtesting in development before that game was sold and purchased. We end up being the playtesters, and that's unacceptable. A game should come out fully fucking functional. Yes, if you found a nuanced bug, like, oh, in this incredibly rare situation, there's a corner in the game that has a hole in it, and you could accidentally hit it, and now you get sucked into the hole, your game crashes. And it only happens once to every 1,000 players or something. Okay, I get it. This is a fundamental piece of coding in the game that was broken. For a competitive fighting game to not know that one player has an advantage over the other, you failed as a game developer. You shouldn't make competitive games. You can't do it. You suck. You shouldn't. I mean, this should be a huge, big smite against their reputation, a big black mark against them that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. No one's saying anything. Everyone's acting like it didn't happen. That's fine. It's fine. What if no one discovered the bug? Right? What if no one figured it out? What if they didn't have such an insanely dedicated community that playtest the shit out of these games after they come out to figure it out? You would have had this game go out, and for the entire time it ran, would have had an unfair advantage. It would have been a completely meaningless game, and no one would have been the wiser. Am I glad they fixed it? Yes. But I'm fucking infuriated that it was the gamers who bought the game that had to figure it out and do their job for them. Seriously, Ed Boon should be literally being interrogated and treated like, what the fuck did you do? What have you been doing all this time? You know? Why did you put out a game like this? And why is no one questioning Ed on why the game is nowhere near as good as Street Fighter 6? Where is the complexity? Where are the gameplay elements to make it on par with your contemporaries? Why is the netcode so much worse in Mortal Kombat 1 compared to Street Fighter 6? Why is no one asking him these questions? Instead, you want to know what he's busy doing? He's posting up on social media. Look at all these game sites that ranked our game 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. And every site is a game site that doesn't understand fighting games. It's hilarious. Not one fighting game website is giving it a 9 or 10 out of 10. So he doesn't list those. He only lists the glowing reviews from the sites that fucking don't know better because they're ignorant idiots. I'm just, it really infuriates me. I really do, because I just don't like seeing stuff like that, right? I don't. You have to, absolutely positively, in the modern day, you have to hold people accountable. Because if you don't, they will get away with it, and they will continue with the bad behaviors. We have seen this time and time again in the last decade with game development, that a game developer puts out a bad game or an inferior game or a half-finished game, and because of hype or marketing or spin, that game still becomes popular and sells, and then you get 10 more like it. Not only just from the same company, but everyone else that wants to follow suit, right? Mortal Kombat 1 is a joke compared to Street Fighter 6. It is not good at all. I'm sorry. It is not even anywhere near competition, but you wouldn't hear that from anyone who's notable, because everyone wants to keep their lips zipped so they don't get blacklisted. It's crap. The game is laggy. The game is simplistic. The game plays horribly. It's a step back for the franchise, and now it's had game-breaking bugs that we just, it's fine, forgive them, because they're going to patch it because we found it for them. Are you out of your fucking mind? This should be front page news on every single gaming website. Why is Mortal Kombat 1 such a huge failure compared to its contemporary? Why are we not holding them accountable? I don't get it. But again, I'm different than everybody else. I am. I think of things differently, while the entire FGC is all about the hype and gotta say everything's good, so that way you can get fucking clickbait views on your shit and everything. I gotta be honest. Alright? That is absolutely positively a joke. That is that way, that it launched that way, that it's not even in competition with Street Fighter 6. I can't imagine, being Ed Boon, but again, he must live in a bubble or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, it's gotta be like living in a fucking bubble, because all you're listening to is the positive feedback from the game websites that don't even understand the game sucks, I just don't get it, Anyway, whatever, let's continue. Even now, there's people in the chat that are fucking, oh, no, or whatever. This is interesting. So, a lot of the times people say to me, Phil, why do you stay on YouTube, right? And I'm like, YouTube's my home. It's where I started 15 years ago. I mean, I know there's alternatives to YouTube. For example, there's Kick for streaming now. There's this website, Rumble, that I guess is an alternative to YouTube, that a lot of people have started backing their content up over on that site and stuff like that. I know these places exist, but for me, the way I see it is, I've been here for 15 years. This is where everyone knows me. This is where everyone can find me if they want to. It's kind of my home. It's the home for my streaming. It's the home for my on-demand videos. You know what I mean? For me to split my content and say, oh, well, I'm streaming over here, but then my archive content is over here, but then I'm also backing it up over here, it would just be too confusing. And I really do feel like I would be splitting my audience, okay? Just being honest, I feel it that way. So that's really why at this point, you know, I've been on YouTube for so many years, and I think I'm just going to probably stay here for now, unless there was a reason, a distinct reason. Like if I saw a huge change in the way that YouTube was doing things, and I just wasn't okay with it, then I would consider leaving YouTube and going somewhere else, all right? But for me, I've been here a long time, and I'm used to their ways, and everything seems all right. Why would I move, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, how about this story for you from Rumble? You ready for this? If you are in France, the country of France, you cannot use Rumble. Why? Listen to this. Because of French government demands to remove creators from our platform, Rumble is currently unavailable in France. We're challenging these government demands and hope to restore access soon. So essentially what has happened in the last couple of years, there's been this big movement on the internet of censorship and or mass bannings. And it's been on YouTube, it's been on Twitch, it's been on a lot of different social media sites as well. In particular, from what I'm understanding, it's it's a political. A lot of political commentary, a lot of political shows, a lot of political things have been determined at some points to be not good enough or too harmful to be on certain platforms, notably YouTube being one of them. All right? Now, I couldn't tell you specifically who because I don't pay attention to it. I'm not a political guy. I'm a gamer guy. You know that. I stay away from politics so that way I don't have to play these games with all this bullshit because it seems like that's where most of the bullshit lies these days. Although a lot of the profit also lies in the political spectrum, I stay away from it. All right? Maybe that will change in the future, but for now, I mainly stayed out of any kind of politics. But I guess what happened is a lot of people who have been essentially like blacklisted or treated in a way where they feel like they're not free to say what they want, or they've been censored, they've been banned, they've been kicked out of partner programs, etc. They all went over to this Rumble site, okay? And I guess Rumble just kind of allows it. They're just like, yes, you can do kind of whatever you want on Rumble. I mean, obviously nothing crazy. You can't commit crimes and stuff on there. But I guess they're allowing people to go over there and essentially say whatever they want politically, all right? Well, I guess what happened is the French government doesn't like that. They don't want certain people. I guess they feel that there's certain content creators who are harmful, and they went from like YouTube to Rumble. And so the actual country of France contacted Rumble and said, no, we don't want you broadcasting the content from these people to anyone in our country. And Rumble said, well, fuck you then. We're just turning you off. You can't have us because we're not going to censor people on our site. So people are kind of spitting this two different ways. On the one hand, some people are saying you have people who regularly spread dangerous misinformation about government and politics and health and all kinds of shit. They were literally kicked off of everywhere else because they were spreading misinformation, but Rumble allows it. We want them off of Rumble too because they're too harmful to people, right? That's the one spin. The other spin is this is a ginormous situation of censorship, and that there shouldn't be that kind of censorship on the internet, that people should be free to say what they want, even if it's incorrect or not, even if it's right or wrong. People should still be free to say whatever they want, and they shouldn't have to face this kind of crazy censorship, right? I don't know exactly the situation simply because I'm not in it. I'm not a political guy. I don't even know the people who are banned from YouTube that went to Rumble who are now facing this situation in France. I don't know specifically any of them or what we're talking about here, okay? But as always, I would almost guarantee you the truth lies somewhere in the middle. It's probably not all that one side or all the other. It's probably somewhere in the middle. And I guarantee you that some kind of a middle ground could probably be found if people had rational minds rather than full of emotion. But the problem is humans are very emotional beings. I mean, just look at me and how emotional I was on Wednesday. And usually I'm not like that, right? When humans get a lot of things going on, you know, and you get so emotional over a topic, it might become to the point where it's my way or the highway. And you're not willing to kind of listen to the real situation and try to figure anything out. Why do you think in the United States we are so polarized on politics? It's like either you're right or you're left wing. Wait, what? I have to be either all the way to this way or all the way to this way. And everyone's either you're with us or you're against us mentality. What? But what about this issue where I think this? Well, is it all the way to the left or right? No. Well, then you're the enemy. Wait, what? Just because I don't agree with you on this issue, I'm your enemy, apparently. Wow. That's political discourse in the United States these days. That's the extent of maturity that people have, right? So why on earth? See what I'm saying? Like, okay, there's someone on Rumble, and they're saying ridiculous things you don't agree with. Demand that they're taken off the site? Like, what? Or else the site will be banned in France? What? Like, it just seems extreme. To the extreme, as extreme as you can get. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I don't know exactly what's going on because I don't know the situation of who is the person or persons who are kind of responsible for having France get this crazy take. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I'm not a political guy, so I'm really not going to go too far into it. If this story develops further, and maybe more countries start banning Rumble, and then we get more serious about it, then maybe I'll look more into it. But I just found it weird because this is a website. A lot of people have said over the last year, why don't you back up your content to Rumble so that way you're kind of spreading your wings a little bit further. It's not just about YouTube anymore. And I was like, well, you know, maybe one day I would consider if there's a reason. Right now, I don't really want to divide my audience. I don't have a giant audience. So to divide them kind of further and say, oh, you can watch me here, or you could watch me here, or you could do this, or you could do that, it's confusing, you know? It's better to have it all in one place. Where's Phil? He's on DSPGaming on YouTube. If you have some extra time, go check out his React channel, DSP Reacts, but he's on DSPGaming on YouTube. Get it? Makes more sense to me. So, I guess we'll see, moving forward, what happens here. It's an interesting story, to say the least. So, Max Payne 1 and 2 are getting remakes. You knew that, right? They're actually getting modern remakes with better graphics and gameplay elements. And it's actually been discovered, okay? They're basically going to take the two games and bring them up to modern standards. And apparently, listen to this, they're going to make them into one game? Yeah, apparently Max Payne 1 and 2 remake will actually be one game. And will be sold as one game. Which I guess makes sense. If they remake it from the ground up and they sell the two as one full release, I guess that would be a fair value. Because you're essentially paying, what, half price for each game because it's a remake of a game that already exists. I think that would be fair. $70. I would pay $70 for two remakes in one. So, yeah. The thing is, really, we don't have any... There's been some updates. Like, Sam Blake was talking about this in an interview, and it sounds promising, and it sounds like it's doing well. And I'm happy to hear that. So, I guess we'll see. You know, hopefully we'll have more information soon, but that's all we've really got right now, okay? Here's something that has got everyone on the internet incredibly concerned. In the last 24 hours, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake trailer was made private all over the internet, and you can no longer publicly watch it. Previous tweets, posts, and other mentions of the game have been completely deleted by the game developer. They're basically trying to erase the memory of this game from existence. Man, that's interesting. Because, remember, I had played Knights of the Old Republic, and then literally within, like, less than a year of me having played through it. And by the way, I liked my playthrough just as outdated as the game was, because it definitely was an outdated game. I enjoyed seeing the origins of where BioWare came from, because you could see a lot of the gameplay elements from Knights of the Old Republic have been adapted and updated and then put into their more modern games like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, etc. So I really enjoyed seeing those elements at their core versions before they evolved. That was like a fascinating tour de force of history, right? And a lot of people were very excited when this remake was announced. And I was like, oh man, of course now they announced it after I just played the original. But now here we are like 3 years later, and there is no real updates on this game. No one's really talking about it. So it's like, is it still in development? Like, what's happening? So now come to find out, it seems like they're erasing any mentions as if it never really was even being made. That obviously is not a good sign. Now, there's been no official announcement that the game is being canceled, but obviously, this is a bad sign. There's really no silver lining to it. Why on earth else would they be deleting all mentions of it? It doesn't seem to make sense, okay? I guess we're going to find out soon. I guess we'll see. But hopefully it's not. I would hope the game is in development. I would like to play a remake of Knights of the Old Republic. I seriously would. Because the first one was good, just outdated, you know? So. Alright. Last story of the day is the biggest. Ready for this? Epic Games. You may know them as previously the makers of games such as Gears of War, correct? But then they went on to make Fortnite, which looked like it was going to be a flash-in-the-pan, spin-off game, tower defense game with zombies. But out of nowhere, they decided they wanted to turn Fortnite into a battle royale because battle royales were becoming popular. I would argue by complete luck, they became the #1 battle royale game in the world, and as you know, billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in profit have been earned in the last 5 to 7 years on Fortnite. I'm trying to remember exactly when Fortnite began. It was a little over 5-6 years ago, I believe. It's been pretty insane the wild ride this company has had. It was so wild that they went and started throwing their money all over the place. If you remember, they actually made an entire Epic website, Epic Store. They're a new way that they distribute games to people on PC to compete with Steam. They actually went there, which is kind of insane when you think about it. They went out on a buying spree and started buying a bunch of game companies and all of this stuff and bringing them under their wing. All right? So, why am I bringing up Epic Games today? You know, I really wish it was for a good reason. It's definitely not. Bloomberg reports the following. Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite and Unreal Engine, is laying off a whopping 16% of all of its employees, or around 900 total people. Sources tell Bloomberg News. More to come. Rumors were flying. Epic disabled Slack for employees ahead of the news. Laid off Epic employees will receive 6-month severance and health benefits. A hands-on meeting happens shortly, or will be happening shortly. Story updated as more is learned. Epic is divesting from 2 previous acquisitions. It is selling music site Bandcamp to the marketer Songtrader and spinning out marketing company Super Awesome to operate as an independent company. Continuing on. Epic boss Tim Sweeney said in an email to staff, "For a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn. Fortnite creator profit margins are not as big as Fortnite was. 870 jobs officially have been eliminated, but Epic is still hiring. No more layoffs planned, because as you know, layoffs are always planned ahead of time." Right? Like, that means, oh, we don't plan on any more layoffs. Like, we planned for these, right? The thing that's sad, this is the absolutely saddest part of it. Are you ready for this? Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you remember several years ago a virally popular game that I played and many of us all played because the game was free for a while? The name of the game was called Fall Guys. Anyone remember that? I sure remember it. It was that game that kind of played like an elimination style, almost like American Gladiators, this kind of survival platformy game with all kinds of fun, cutesy mini games. You played as a cool, gooey character, and then after a while they got licensing, and you could dress up in cool outfits for licensed characters and things like that. It had several seasons of content. I mean, you guys know the game still exists, right? But you may be wondering, like, whatever happened to Fall Guys? Like, it was virally popular like 3 years ago. So what happened to the game? Why does no one talk about it anymore? Like, what's going on? Well, did you know that Epic Games bought that company? The name of the company is Mediatonic. They were outright sold to Epic Games. Full purchase. Okay? Guess who they laid off in their mass layoffs? Half of Mediatonic. half of that fucking company just got laid off by Epic Games. So I want you to think about this for a second. You're doing well. Your company, by some kind of luck, by some kind of skill, who knows what it is, but your relatively small gaming company makes a virally popular hit of an indie game, right? It's doing super well. Everyone gets it because I think it was on Game Pass. Was it Game Pass or was it PS Plus? It was on one of them as a free-to-download game. So everyone was playing it. Every streamer was playing it. It was incredibly popular for the summer, 3 years. It was the summer of 2020, I think it was, like 3+ years ago. It was just an anomaly, but man, it was a very, very successful game. And then they started having these partnerships with different intellectual properties to get character skins and things in the game. People were spending money on this, right? So within about 6 months to 8 months of this game being out, it's announced that Epic Games is going to buy the company, right? And then all of a sudden, did you notice something? Silence. Right? All the buzz around Fall Guys died. Why? Because Among Us became the next virally popular game, right? So Epic Games bought them, saw that another game stepped up to take their place as the virally popular game, and what did they do exactly? Absolutely fucking nothing. They just went, meh, oh well. This is Epic Games. They're filthy rich. They could have integrated so much content from Fall Guys. They could have integrated Fall Guys into fucking Fortnite. They could have done a million things to create buzz or crossovers. They basically just had, well, let them just keep putting out some seasonal content and just hope for the best. Get them a few more IPs, hope for the best. Why not have the game company work on a new game? Obviously, they have skill. Why not have them work on the next virally popular game, right? Give them the time and the resources, hire more people. They know what they're doing. Let them make another game. What happened? Absolutely nothing. Stagnation. So they just sat there. Does anyone talk about Fall Guys anymore? Nope. Does anyone play it anymore? I wouldn't know. Is it even getting updates? It probably is, but no one would know because they literally bought the company and they just let it fucking sit there and grow cobwebs on it. So, wow, what a great acquisition, right? I compare this, just listen to this. When I started working for the helicopter company, helicopter support, okay? For many, many, many years, that helicopter company had been an independent company. And they were doing very well in the aviation industry as an independent company servicing helicopter owners, right? They were bought out by Sikorsky Aircraft, a much larger company, okay? That company pledged, oh, don't worry. We're going to improve you. We're going to do all these things to help you. And to some extent they did. They pumped some money into the company and they had, you know, better departments, some better staffing and things like that, all right? Within 10 to 15 years of being bought out, they're gone. They're out of business. All they did is they took all their business and they just sold, they just completely laid everyone off and they sold all of the work to outsourcing call centers. And every person who worked at that company had to go find another job. And that company was doing, it was healthy, it was prosperous, there was nothing wrong with it being an independent company, but they got bought out. So what does this tell us? Sadly, independent companies get sold for giant profits. The people at the top make a ton of money and say, I'm out, fuck this, I made my money, I don't care anymore about this company or anything, I just want to live my life of luxury. And they piece the fuck out, and then the employees are left there holding the bag, like what do we do? What are we supposed to do? Because our you know, people, the leadership is gone. We're owned by another company that obviously doesn't know what they're doing. What happens now, right? So that's exactly what happened here. Is Epic Games came in, bought out this company, had no idea what to do with them whatsoever, didn't guide them, didn't help them to remain pertinent in the gaming landscape whatsoever, left them to their own stagnation and to just sit there and do nothing. I remember every time that the Fall Guys Twitter account used to post up, I'm not shitting you, they would get hundreds of thousands of likes and retweets on their tweets because it was a viral game for kids. Kids loved Fall Guys. It was a game that made sense for kids because there was no excessive gore. There was no nudity. It's just a silly party game. It's just a silly game with a bunch of cartoony characters bopping around doing survival stuff. It was perfectly safe for any child to play. So it was virally popular, and they just literally let it die, right? So it's sad. You might not have seen. I didn't save the picture, which sucks. I should have saved it. So they used to Mediatonic used to have a sign in their office that said Mediatonic. It was a bunch of letters. They reorganized it to say decimation. That's actually because it's the same amount of letters. It's Mediatonic now says decimation because they changed their sign internally and they took a picture and put it on the internet. They lost half their staff and they're all like disgruntled employees now. They don't want to work for Epic anymore because they ruined their company. Someone outlined, I'll give this credit. This is Julia Cashin. Says, Epic's great plan. 1, buy Mediatonic as their Fall Guys game has huge success. 2, remove that game from Steam because now it's an Epic exclusive. 3, wait a minute, people only use the Epic Store to add free games. They don't actually play them. They don't buy games from it. They only play Fortnite on there. Step 4, question marks. Step 5, lay off all the Mediatonic team. That's literally what they did. They added nothing. They bought it and just sat on it, did nothing, and then now they're out of business. So, pretty insanely bad, right? I mean, what kind of a company is that? And the sad part is, I hate to say it, all right, because I know some people, again, they always want to spin something positively, right? Epic Games is only successful to the level they are because of luck. I would like to reiterate that. Epic Games is only successful to the level they are because of luck. Previously, they were popular for making the Unreal Engine, right? And they had made a few other games in the past that were successful. But they were never that successful. It was only when they got lucky and they changed their tower defense game to copy what everyone else was doing in the Battle Royale scene. And they made the premier cartoony Battle Royale game for kids. And they capitalized on it. And they marketed it that way. And they preyed on children. I'm going to say that again. They preyed on children. They literally created predatory content to lure kids to keep playing their games. Hell, the top Fortnite streamers dressed up like cartoon characters and dyed their hair and acted like little fucking, weird comic book people to lure kids to their streams. That's why Epic Games is rich right now. Because of children. Not because they have a good game, because they lured kids to play their game. And it became the virally popular thing for children. They didn't even plan on it being like that. It was surefire luck. The game was not supposed to be Battle Royale when they designed it. They just changed it on the fly. All right? So, I mean, kudos to whoever made that decision. We have to jump into the industry trends and make Fortnite a fucking Battle Royale game, right? But man, how could you even think that that company deserves any iota of respect when literally the only real claim to success that they have in the modern day is copying what other people already did and getting lucky doing it, right? So, of course, they're buying all these companies. I would say Mediatonic will be the first of many. Oh, we have no more further layoffs planned. No one plans layoffs, you fucking dunces. To even say that publicly just shows how much you don't care about anything in your company. You don't. You have no idea what you're doing if you say we have no more layoffs planned, because we always have layoffs planned in waves like this. We're always just going to get cut employees, right? It's our plan. The fuck are you talking about? No successful, healthy company wants to lay people off, right? And I'm wondering what else Epic has bought that now is going to fail because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's hilarious because someone actually brought up their profits. Just listen to this. The amount of money Epic Games made on Fortnite each year. In 2019, they made $3.7 billion. In 2020, they made $5.1 billion. In 2021, they made $5.8 billion. And in 2022, they made over $6 billion on Fortnite, right? So really, they really had to just cut people. They couldn't take it. Tim Sweeney, we're spending more money than we're making. Then what the fuck are you spending money on? No, really. Instead of laying people off, why don't you stop your insane spending? That obviously doesn't make sense, and reorganize internally to get the morons who are authorizing that spending the fuck out of your company so you don't go out of business. Instead of cutting the jobs of people who worked hard and made a really good game everyone liked, and then you killed the game when you bought it. Right? But no. No one in power could ever be at fault, obviously. As we said, all these companies, right? All these companies who are run by these fucking corporate bigwig people, rather than people who understand the industry that they're in, this is exactly what happens. They don't understand nothing. They don't. And then they make horrible decision after horrible decision. Do they ever see the consequences? No, they're filthy rich. Why do they care? They could give two shits if all of Mediatonic got laid off today. Why would they give a shit? Because, hey, I'm rich. I'm insulated from any kind of consequences of anything I do for the rest of my life. I could continuously fail and hurt people all around me. No one could get to me. I'm rich. It's great, right? It's a great way to live. And that's how they all live. These people who are at the top over there in charge of these fucking game companies, this is what the reality of their life. It's pretty sick, isn't it? Right? I just think it's horribly sad. I remember playing Fall Guys and loving the game, and I remember at the time, you knew it was an indie game. We're like, man, this game has such potential to grow and expand. They can make a series of games. This could become the next Minecraft if they do it right. And what happens? Flush it down the fucking toilet. It makes me pissed off, man, but I guess that's what we all got to live with, right? All right, so before we get to Q&A, people have been saying, what happened to the Phil's Day Off segment? Well, do you really want to know? Yesterday wasn't a very special day. All right, here we go. Yesterday wasn't a very special day. There was some very stressful, sad things that I had to deal with on my day off, relating to personal stuff going on. Yeah, it got to me. It was not a very good day in that regard. My wife and I did spend about half the day together at home, but it wasn't as happy as we would have liked, obviously. We ordered some food. We got Indian food, which was pretty good. I got chicken vindaloo, and she got just a chicken curry with some naan bread, and it was delicious. It was a good dinner. But outside of that, I don't really have much else to say. Like, you know, I did my usual errands, like I would usually do on my day off. Nothing of particular note really happened that was special or positive or fun that you would want to probably hear about. We're watching someone play through Lies of P, going along the same lines that I did, to see what their experience was like. It's interesting to see someone else play again and see the different weapons they use and stuff like that. So we did that. But, you know, that's about it. That's really all I have to really say. Like, there's really nothing really going on. Nothing too positive, nothing too fun, nothing to share with you. If there was, obviously we'd have a nice, fun Phil's Day Off segment. I could tell you all about it. Wow, we did all this, we did all this. I would say this, we should have some more positive stuff going on, hopefully over October. Obviously, one of the weeks of October, I'm going to go and we're going to get my Halloween costume together. That's always fun to do. And it is cooler now. So with this cooler weather, there's more fall activities and fun going on. And maybe we're going to partake in some of that. And I'll be able to tell you about some of that stuff. But this particular week in general, this was not a good week. And the day off wasn't that good. You know, nothing really to say, you know. So that's why I think, hey, why not fill the show with the actual interesting stuff that we did talk about, rather than stuff that's not so great, right? So there you go. All right. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get to shout outs and we're going to get to Q&A like always. Thank you for watching the show so far. Again, reminder, the best ways to support the channel this week would be memberships, gifted memberships, or tips. Okay. I'm trying to hit that tier 1 tips goal every stream this week. That would help tremendously right now, especially with the cost of games that's about to skyrocket for me. All right. Okay. So starting off here, Retro Parasite had done that super chat at the beginning of the show. He says City Skylines 2 was delayed until spring 2024. What? It was? So it's not coming out anymore in October? I guess I should delete it from my games release schedule then, if that's the case. That sucks. That sucks. I was actually looking forward to at least trying it. I didn't know if I was going to like it. But that does suck. All right, hold on. So City Skylines was originally going to be the 26th. It's not anymore. You're saying it got delayed, and now we don't know when it's coming out? All right. Well, thank you for telling me. That sucks. Okay, there we go. I'm just happy I finally put the game release schedule into my phone. I had it on paper for like months, right? It's still on track for a PC release for October, but the console versions have been delayed. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for sharing. So thank you, Retro Parasite, for that super chat. And for that elaboration. Appreciate that, so that I'm not looking forward to it and then it's not out and I get all upset. Okay. Trust me, I've been upset enough recently. I don't need to be upset any extra. Thank you for that. Okay. Our first tip of the day is a $10 tip from Tarantula MS, who says, hey, Phil, what's going on, Tarantula? It's good to have you here today. How are you doing? I hope that you're doing well. And it's always good to see you on a stream. I hope you'll stick around, perhaps, for Lies of P after the podcast ends. Let's get Tarantula up there as the first tipper of the day. Cool. All right. I actually agree. Bottle Cruncher 1997 says, It's good to see delays just becoming more common rather than them rushing out unfinished broken games. I completely agree with you. I 100% agree with that statement. I would much rather have a game get delayed, and actually be good. The statement, well, who was it from Nintendo who made that statement? Was it Iwata or was it Miyamoto? I always get it confused, but they said, you know, a rushed game is always bad while a delayed game will eventually be good, right? I forget who said that quote, but it's an amazingly good quote. Was it Miyamoto who said that? That is some huge insight. Whoever that was, like, geez. Good things come to those who wait. Give them the time to finish it, right? Okay. Dust. All right, so what do you guys want to talk about? We still got like 10, 15 minutes. Please tag me in the chat. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. If anything else comes in, you know, any contributions, I'll shout them out as well. King Be Cruel, I've answered that question a million times. I'll say it one more time. The Metal Gear Solid Collection is literally just a straight-up porting of versions of the games you've already played to modern consoles. I've already played Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 and 3 in the versions that are in this collection for YouTube. All this would be if I were to buy that collection again was buying the same games I've already played. Now, admittedly, I would like to replay Metal Gear Solid 1. That one I've only played once ever. I never replayed it like the others. I did replay them. That one I never did. It's always been limited to PS3, and the PS3 version always had monster delay when you tried to play it. So maybe if they port it to this modern console, you know, for this version will run a little better. I don't know. So that's the one I would consider maybe buying and playing again, but I'm not doing it now. That would be something for like downtime in the future. It's a game I've already played. There is no urgency in buying or playing that game at this point. People have this weird notion that this collection is something new. It's literally the same versions that have been out there for over a decade. I don't know why people think this is a new collection. They already said it. This is just us porting it to run on your modern console. There's nothing new added. We haven't even improved the gameplay nor the graphics. It's exactly the same as you expect. So there's no reason for me to buy it. It's kind of a non-release at this point, you see? Okay. Joel Loft says they're timeless classics, so he's down to buy them again and play them again. Well, there you go. You're a ginormous fan of them, so maybe you're freaking out about this. For the rest of us, I don't think so. What's up, Juan David Ortega? How are you? Comet Frenzy says the people making Old Republic remake are part of Embracer Group. Do you think their layoffs are related to the situation? Maybe. Very well maybe. Because they did just do a bunch of, you know, layoffs. Am I going to play Lords of the Fallen? We literally just talked about that when I went through the schedule, and I said it's a maybe. I'm interested in it. I just don't know if it's going to be any good or if it's going to make sense at playing that right after having finished Lies of P. But I would consider if you guys are interested in it. No Sleep Real Vice, I hope you get relaxed a bit more with Lies of P and get more progress done today. And, all right. Thank you. Am I going to do a New Game Plus run of Lies of P? No, I don't think anyone's going to care about that. I mean, no one's really cared about me doing New Game Plus runs of anything right off the bat after I finished it, quite frankly. These games don't seem to hold that enough interest for a double run. I tried it with Elden Ring. Didn't work. Even the second run of Elden Ring I did this year, we never finished, right? So there you go. No, I'm not playing Cyberpunk again. You can stop asking. I've said that a million times. Escanor Sinnoh Pride says, now the rumor is the Knights of the Old Republic remake trailer was taken down because of licensing issues with the music. Maybe. It's all rumor. Like, no one has heard anything official, right? Cypress has enjoyed the Resident Evil 4 remake playthrough I did months ago. He says the opening Vel segment was crazy. Indeed it was. What would I think of a big Monkey Island collection coming to current consoles? I don't know. Does anyone in the modern gaming landscape care about point-and-click games? Just being honest. Like, I remember when it was announced that they were making that Broken Age game, and at first it was all this hype. And then after the game came out, I don't think anyone's been hyped for a point-and-click game since, right? I mean, at one point, point-and-click games were very prominent in the PC landscape, and people loved them, and I get it. There's an affinity for Monkey Island and stuff like that because they're classics from the 90s, but like that last Monkey Island that came out, did you hear anyone really talk about it, hype it up? No. It came out and just like fizzled away, blew away on a breeze. I didn't even know it existed, right? Would I recommend Indian food to someone who didn't have it? Yes, I would. But understand it's going to be culturally very different from probably what you're used to. Curry can be very spicy or not. Depends on what you order. You can get whatever you want. The cool thing about the Indian cuisine, in my opinion, is you can get a completely filling meal that doesn't even need to have protein in it. It's actually some of the first pure vegetarian food I've ever eaten in my life, and I really enjoyed it. When I think vegetarian, I think, oh God, it's going to be a plate of veggies that don't taste good. Or, you know, so this Beyond Meat bullshit that tastes fake. It's not real meat. It tastes horrible, right? But actual Indian vegetarian food is significantly delicious. A lot of chickpeas and stuff for breading and stuff. Because it's not breading. It's chickpea breading. It's not made of bread. And all kinds of slow-cooked veggies and things in all kinds of, like sauces and things. Oh, it's good. It's really good. But, of course, they do protein. They do chicken. They do lamb. Their lamb is significantly good. If you like lamb, you're going to love Indian food because they do a lot of different things with lamb. But it's different. It's once you adjust to the fact that it's very different cuisine than what you're probably used to, once you start eating it, you'll realize it tastes absolutely delicious. So. Would I like hints on how to get a better ending in Lies of P if I'm not doing New Game Plus? I would say sure, as long as it's not giant plot spoilers. But don't tell me now. Tell me when we're playing. Okay? Some people I just got to get rid of. This guy's talking about cannibalism. Okay. I got a $2 tip from Lady Charisma. Personally, I'm all for playing Forza Motorsport on late night streams when it comes out. It'd be perfect for chill streams, kind of like MLB streams a few years back. The thing is, it's Game Pass. I've never played one before. I only played Forza Horizon. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to like it. Maybe I'm wrong, because there's been other games over the years that I've been like, oh, I don't think I'll like it, and then I played it as a Game Pass release, and I was like, dude, I actually really like this, right? So I don't know, but, I'm not a car guy. I'm not really much of a racing guy. So because of that, I don't really see how this would take off or be interesting to me, and I would like it at length, honestly. But I'm willing to at least give it a shot as a stream and see what happens, right? What is the next big event? The Halloween party? Absolutely, yeah. Because we got a lot. I'm in the midst of so many games right now. That's why we did not do an event in September. We forewent doing an event this month. This next month is going to have tons of new game releases and things I'm juggling. I'm going to be doing one horror movie review a week. At some point, we're going to do a tier maker special where we're going to rank horror movie franchises against each other. And then the big event finale at the end of the month will be the Halloween event on Halloween, where we're going to have horror games people are going to nominate and vote on. I'll be in costume all day. I'm going to order some food. Then we'll have a feasting with the king, which we haven't done in many, 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 many months. So it's going to be a good special event for Halloween. And we're going to have one a month. Halloween, the Black Friday Adpocalypse special, and then the Christmas special. So we're going to have boom, boom, boom. 3 really fun big events for 3 months for the end of the year. It's going to be great. No, I never watched Strawberry Shortcake on TV, but I was well aware of it because my cousin liked it, and there was ads for it all over the place. It was very prominent in the 80s. Any chance of getting fishing streams back? Yeah, if they make another fishing game, right? If there was another cool fishing game that came out, maybe I would consider it. Oh, did you know that Sega Bass Fishing is actually going to be in Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth? Yeah, they put that. It's one of the classic arcade games that Sega used to have. They put it into Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Okay. Alright, guys. I think it's time. I got to use the restroom anyway. Let's end the show, and we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll jump back into Lies of P. Lies of P should be great, really. Like, Lies of P has been an outstanding playthrough so far. I have no qualms that this game will not be good. I think it's going to be very exceptionally fun today. 672 to the Super Chat says, why do chatters like Willow and Juan and others spam silly questions so much? It's distracting. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Why do they? Because I know they ask absolutely ridiculous questions where the answer will always be no. I mean, did I ever do this or do that? And it's always something insane. Like, did you ever jump on top of a rocket, shoot into space, and intercept a meteor that was hurling towards the Earth that would have destroyed all of humankind, and then land safely? It's like, well, I did half of it, but I didn't land safely, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know why they ask these questions, but they do. I don't get it. But I'm not them. You might want to ask them and not me. You know, they are the people asking the question, not me. So, have I ever punched a bee? I can literally tell you I have. I have straight up bee bothering me, and I went boom, and I punched it straight on, and the bee went flying. That's happened. That's legit happened. Yes, I have punched a bee straight up. Okay. It is time to end the show. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's Level 1 podcast as we're winding down September. Only another day left. Then it's October. It's Halloween Horror Month and all the festivities that come with it. And I hope that you guys will join me for that. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Did my internet just go down? Am I still here? Hello? So the stream did go off and on? That is really weird. I have no idea what happened there. I clicked... Did you guys hear what I was saying? Did you hear what I was saying during that time? So I hit stop recording, which I always do, to stop the video from recording. And the whole OBS seemed to freeze up. And then it's finally stopped recording after like almost a minute. But then